Okay. Itameksistiko, good day. It is the early afternoon, I think. Late morning to early afternoon of Thursday, my favorite day of the week, June 4th, 2020, in the lunar cycle Apistishkit Satos, the flower moon. And behold, all of the various flowers, mostly all mustards, along this bank, including this lens-potted hoary cress and this guy, whose name I do not know, other than wild mustard. And by far the most tastiest of all of our wild mustard species. Has a nice kick and just kind of comes in as you chew on it, stronger and stronger. So yeah, Thursday, and haven't made a vlog for a few rounds, so figured I better put something out, just an update so everybody knows I'm still alive. And what better place to do that than Spopikami, if I don't have too much else going on. Especially because we're about to head into another burst of Chelsea's nursing shifts. So she's going to be pulling 12-hour shifts for the next 3 days straight. I'll be taking care of the kids, and I probably won't come out to the pond again until maybe Monday morning. I'll come out here with Carol. So good to have a last look for the next few days, see what's happening, and at the same time I can talk to you about what's new, including this little blue flower, which is new in bloom anyway. And I don't even know what it is. I suspect, no, it's got 5 petals, so it's not a mustard. I don't know. That's one I'm gonna have to look up. But yeah, we'll take a walk around, talk about what's new, maybe talk a little bit about the world events, because the world got kind of crazy again the last couple of days too. And yeah, see what's up. I could be mistaken, but I keep thinking I'm hearing coot mating calls. Gonna have to walk over there by the sub pond and see what's up with that, because I haven't seen the coots for maybe hear it? I think that's coots. We're gonna go check it out. Anyway, give you a little update on the wildlife work for the past few rounds. It's been relatively quiet compared to what it was over the weekend when I was documenting those long days. And I think that just has to do with people kind of getting back to some regularity, back to work in some instances, and there just being more folks out here on the weekends. Might also have a little bit to do with weather, because we did have a couple of very windy rounds where it just wasn't as pleasant to be out here. But for me, it all coincided, with like trying to juggle this struggle with the shifts and the kids and all of this. And it was funny because as soon as Chelsea was able to relieve me and take the kids to her parents for a day, that Monday, it turned out I had relatively few calls to attend. So but in any case, what's going on? Not much. I guess the main theme of the last few rounds has been fledglings and baby skunks. There you are, hanging out in the shed. How come? This is not your place. No. Oh, you squirter. Get out of here. Nobody wants your stinky in here. Just squirting at me. Little brat. Little brat. Ah, you got me. Dang it. Alright. Yeah, you probably can't see it. Just checking out that other video where the skunk sprayed me the other day and you couldn't see it on there. It's gonna make their shed smell nice now. Why don't you get out of here? Go on. Yeah, you head out. You head out. Spray to your heart's content, but you gotta get out of here. You gotta get out of here. Go on. Go on, out the door. There you go. Yeah, going out the door. Can you get through there? Don't spray me. Hey, you stay back. Give me a path. There. It's a path now. Go back. Trying to walk without breaking their equipment here along their shelf system. Get a angle on the stinky skunk. Really smelled it up in here. All right, out. Out you go. Out you go. Out. 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 Yeah, you're not standing here. You're out. Get out. Get out. Get out. Really didn't want to leave. Whew. Well, I got the skunk out. Doesn't smell good in there. No. Yeah. All around town, the baby skunks are continuing to surface, and people are upset. Want them removed, as cute as they are. And so, you know, I've been trying to do that in as ethical a way as possible without killing baby skunks. I do have a couple of sites where they have cover and such, where I'm doing drop-offs, and I've having, you know, left skunks there one day. I'll return the next day to do more drop-offs, and I find that the baby skunks that I left there the day before are still quite there. And so I'm dropping off a little food for them at the site too, you know, hoping that they'll survive it, although I don't want to attract predators, so I'm not dropping off an abundance of food. But when I come and I see little babies that I've left the day before, I leave them something, you know, in case they haven't had much sustenance. Haven't really been able to pair up mamas with babies since the one that I documented. I'm just getting babies, and it kind of sucks, but it is what it is. People's dogs are getting babies as well, and fortunately I haven't had really to deal with any of those this year yet, as I have last year. But I'm preparing myself mentally for the baby skunks that have been mauled, you know, because that wave is going to come, as is the wave of fledglings that are bumped by cars. And this is something I've got I've got to put a good word out on my Rattlesnakes of Lethbridge Facebook page and try to let people know that, right now there's fledgling magpies, fledgling robins, soon there's going to be fledgling crows, there might be fledgling woodpeckers, some of the flickers and such. In fact, the one that I was taking care of may have been a fledgling. Flo, who is taken off, by the way. Flo was flying and Flo took off. So Flo made it, which is what I was hoping. But a lot of the fledglings are not going to make it, and that's the way that it is. The predators are going to get at them, and they're just going to have, difficulties adjusting to our culture, which includes a culture of, fair ignorance about things, wildlife. I've had many calls in the past couple of days from people who say that there's an injured bird in their backyard, but what it turns out to be is a fledgling. I have people that are just intolerant of them, that the fledglings are down in their yard and they want them gone because they want to let their cat out or whatever and don't want to feel the responsibility for having killed the birds. To those people I always just recommend, well, why don't you just keep your cat in for 2 or 3 days and let the birds get their wings a little bit, get out of your space, because they'll move on. But it's a whole range of different issues, but soon will come the injuries, and that's the tough one, because that's where I end up having to get involved. My protocol for this year, where I can do it, is going to be for those injured birds that I get called to. I need some kind of collaboration with the caller, because I can't be the only hero this year. Like last year, I don't have a facility, and so people that want to help the birds that are injured, I want to help the birds that are injured too. But we have to have some kind of collaborative plan for the care of the bird while we're doing the first aid on it. And with the knowledge that some injuries, like broken wings, which are very common among fledglings who get bumped by cars and such, broken wings typically don't heal to flight capability again. They can heal to tuck properly, and for the animal to have a little bit of use of, but not necessarily for flight. Those that I've seen actually recover from significant broken wings have only been magpies, because I think they have some kind of bone healing magic. But yeah, as far as the others, and even the magpies and crows and such, you might be in for a long-term commitment, and people need to know that. If they're willing to help the bird, either by committing to be able to care for it while it's healing, and potentially afterward, or to at least be the ones responsible for rehoming it. I'm just looking around here, and all the asparagus is picked right to the bottoms again. We did have a few that had escaped the cull, but somebody's come through again, perhaps. Yeah, so that's what the last few days have been like, wildlife-wise. Has been a lot of calls about fledglings, a lot of calls for baby skunks, And snake-wise, not so much. I might have had, I can't remember if I had an undocumented one at the country club. But I do remember going over to the University of Lethbridge and picking up a double rattlesnake call where they were two snakes basking on the 6th floor patio at the same time. So that was kind of fun. They were near the den anyway. But yeah, a lot of my calls are coming from this year so far, coming from the Lethbridge Country Club and the University of Lethbridge 6th floor patio area where the snakes are denned. Good morning.
Oh, there's snakes over there, so you don't want to get too close. Oh, you're the snake.
I'm the snake guy.
He's the snake.
What are you guys doing out here?
Sun tanning.
Just hanging out on the sidewalk because there's nobody around because it's COVID time or what? Whoa, sorry girl. Come here. Come here. Sorry, you can't be hanging out on the sidewalk up here. No. Well, I know this sucks, but you gotta move. Let's just take a ride on my hook, and it'll be all over real quick. No, well, you start making your way off. Let's get you over here too. What are you doing up here, mister? Hello.
Hey, I just wanted to confirm you got that cancellation for the security U of L.
No, I'm on the sidewalk with two rattlesnakes right now at the U of L, so.
Oh.
Yep.
Okay, well, good enough then.
Okay.
Okay, thanks.
Thanks.
Bye.
Well, all these years, I truly did not believe they would use stairs.
Oh yeah, they'll come on up here. Let's go. Let's go. Yeah, no, this is not the way down. That's not the way down. You gotta go down this way. I know you were leading yourself. I know you're leading yourself. Come here. The way is over here. Alright, you go on your own way. That's all of them, eh?
Hello, hello.
Hey.
Hey, come on in. It's been our excitement for the night.
I bet.
Been here 5 years. It's
I
first
thought my phone was ringing off the hook. I see.
So,
It's in there.
it doesn't have a rattler. Just kidding.
Oh, it's just in that little ice bucket there, or ice
Just
cream
a
bucket?
little one. You can hear him going to town.
Yeah, it sounds
It's pretty
tiny,
sweet.
tiny, eh?
Yeah, he's just a little guy. So, I think he's really cool.
We caught it, I
Yeah, we did. I can take that off.
Yeah, it's the dangerous container
It is.
for fingertips
Yes,
with
finger
rattlesnakes. Hey, you a little one.
Yeah, he's awesome.
So you was just hanging out here in
Well,
your
we have
kitchen?
See if you want to eat anything.
He's on our basketball court.
Yeah, we have a basketball court.
Oh, okay. I just got the message. There's a rattlesnake in somebody's kitchen.
Oh, really? No, they have. There is my kitchen. Yeah, we caught it.
Well, that makes a little bit more sense. He's tiny.
Yeah, he is. You want me to take that off?
Yeah, might as well take the lid and I'll see if I can transfer him with the hook.
Safely?
See if she'll stick on the hook. He's so small.
Yeah. We could just dump him in there, couldn't we?
Oh yeah, for sure, but be a little dump for him. I think I can take him a little easier. We'll see.
Whoa, look at the rattle. It's rattling.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there we go.
Pretty awesome.
Oh, he just hid.
He's trying to. He didn't like what we were doing. We picked him up with a hockey stick and put him on there.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. Just getting onto the wet meadows here. So that's been what's up with the wildlife this last few rounds. Oh, the beaver. I should update on the beaver. I have been trying the last 4 nights to trap the beaver, and I'm still unsuccessful. I had the bait taken now twice. During one of those bait takes, the trap was triggered and seized on itself. I think I already talked about that in a previous video. But I have had the bait taken once since. I have had the trap investigated even last night. When I went to check it this morning, there was a fresh new paw print right up beside the trap. I think, part of the difficulty that I'm having is that I don't have a channel to funnel the beaver onto the trap with. So the beaver can climb ashore and investigate it from angles and this kind of a thing. And that, fortunately, that trigger pad is made strong enough that it takes some pressure to actually release the trap, so a beaver's not going to get caught half in, half out while he's up on shore investigating the thing, hopefully, because that trap slams pretty hard. But yeah, I'm hoping maybe tonight I'll make another attempt. Maybe I'll have an animal in there come morning, and we'll see. Oh, the wet meadows are very wet. Very, very wet. Too wet for me to continue through with my boot. Otherwise it's going to get soaked. And I don't really want a soaked boot. So I'm going to have to go back to the outskirts. Yeah, I was hoping to kind of walk through the middle today and take a look. I wonder where the super family of geese is. I haven't really spotted them yet. And I'm not hearing that sound that I thought might have been coots. So I'm not sure what to do in that regard. I'm here at the sub pond and I'm not seeing anything unusual. I do hear in the forest that there are many fledglings. They've either got to be starling or tree swallow, or both. But sometimes a bird will fly into the canopy and just explode with a bunch of sound of feeding fledglings. Red-winged blackbirds probably have active nests right now too. I wonder if I can find any without going through the wet meadows themselves. Maybe, maybe not. I'll kind of keep an eye out. Bunch of robins. Yeah, robin fledglings are out and about as well, and often confuse people. They think it's an injured bird. It won't fly away. Lots of milkweed coming up. Lots of milkweed. I wonder if the fire kind of is a prompt for milkweed, because there's definitely more of that coming up than usual here. Check it out. I just come across this little yellow warbler's nest. It's this year's, but it probably hasn't been used. They might have been setting up in this somewhere in this narrow leaf. Usually when trees have this branches down the side here, it's because they're narrow leaf in their genetics. Even though this looks like a plains cottonwood, it probably has some narrow leaf built in. But anyway, it was down here on the ground. Beautiful little nest start, but won't work out this year for this particular nest. They're gonna have to start over with some other fibers. I don't even know what all they use, these yellow warblers in here. It's pretty nice stuff though. Pretty cool, you know. I was just standing here on the bank overlooking the river, noting how swollen it was. It's really engorged, but it's not flooded per se, not as yet. It's just risen quite a bit. And this flow is of course controlled by dam and reservoir systems upstream. So we have the St. Mary's and the Old Man and the Waterton River dams. Try to keep the flooding down, although I think it's pretty important that we flood here on occasion. And it seems like the last few years, at least, we haven't had any decent floods here. So I don't know. Anyway, I was standing up here and I kind of walked over this way, and down at the bottom of this beaver slide there was a painted turtle, and you can see perhaps his claw marks down there, his or her, where she comes up. You can also see some other stuff going on in here. But yeah, those are turtles down there. Yeah, people don't really appreciate maybe that those painted turtles are in the river here as well, not just in the wetlands. But they are. The river turtles seem to be a little bit more discreet, though. These boots are really not made. The best way I've found for climbing hills with them that are steep incline is kind of to set my foot here at the slant and come up. Because the main thing is I'm not really supposed to be flexing my calf, pulling my body uphill. I don't know. I get pretty sharp calf twinges of pain now and then. But not with that particular movement. What I just did seems to be a way to go up and down a slope, a steep incline, without putting the strain on my muscle that hurts my calf. So I don't know. Yeah, it's pretty cool to see river beavers. Here you see a lot of the asparagus escaped along the river shoreline itself. Well, there was some harvesting. This could also be deer that nipped the tops of these ones. Hard to say. Any case, what else has gone on in the life of Rye besides wildlife mitigation the last few days? There have been, I've touched base with family in Oregon, which isn't such a rare thing, but in this particular occasion I touched base with them because I was a little bit concerned about what was been going on in the United States, where my parents are at, right? So I called down to Salem, Oregon, and talked to my mom and dad, and at the very least, crack jokes with them about their president. And I know that's not going to win a lot of favor with some of the people that watch my channel because of rattlesnakes, because I know I have some Trump supportive followers out there, and whenever I say anything at all like in that vein, I get some hate mail. But okay, things got pretty serious in the United States this past week, and they got serious on it, in my opinion, for a number of reasons, and it's not just racial, and but the lawlessness. Hey, one of the pet kind of hypotheses, theories that I'm starting to play with in my thinking about what it is that makes the United States different. I mean, the whole, like the thesis of Michael Moore's Columbine. Why does this thing happen in the United States so much, this mass shooting thing? Why do certain things seem to be certain expressions, certain social expressions, especially violent ones, why do they tend to be preferred by the United States? What's going on down there? What makes the United States different? And I grew up in that system, so I have a bit of an inside insight, being an expat or whatever you'd call me. But I think there's a kind of a very deep-seated vigilantism in the American ethos, and I think that deep-seated vigilantism is part of what was going on with the police, and what does go on with the police when they misuse force in general. A lot of that is also fear. Some of that, in cases like this, might have been racism. But I think there's vigilantism too. And that vigilantism is a very American thing, going right to the inception of the country, that began with vigilantism. And when someone who is a public servant, who's supposed to protect the people, commits a murder so glaring, and his fellow officers don't do anything to intervene. In fact, they aid, and nobody on up the chain of command, from that guy on the street with his knee all the way up to the district attorney or higher, none of them acted until there was dangerous levels of public vigilantism over the event. And rightful vigilantism, you know, in the American sense of my mind. I'll tell you, this is not the Canadian speaking, this is the American thing in me. I think burning down the police station was appropriate. I think, you know, acts where people have defaced. Now that I've seen that one, by the way, this is just a sidetrack. Just about to open in a good rant, and I get sidetracked because I'm looking at wildlife stuff. These beaver slides are good to look at just to check out what's going on. In this case, it's actually a beaver that was coming up and down. But right at the mud at the base of these slides, you can see some stuff. Anyway, back to my rant. I think that that some of the rioting and the defacing and damage of public property is appropriate in the face of a situation where you have authority that's in complete abuse of its power. And that, like I say, is not that one policeman, that one guy who did the murder. You know, not just the murderer, but everybody on up. All of his support crew. All of them should be charged, in my opinion, in the end result of this thing. That district attorney, she should go down. You know, that's some BS. Holding off until, you know, until there's so much public outcry. And the public outcry went global, because we are a globalizing culture. But, you know, in that respect, everybody can identify with these abuses of power from the people that are supposed to be protecting the public. They're actually doing the opposite of protecting the public. This is a neat little bit of root here. Looks like a standing snake. I like that. I think I'm gonna take that home with me. bit of what do you call it? It's old willow root that broke off and got washed around by the river. Yeah, I like that. It's kind of a nice little effigy. A gift from the place. Do I have anything to return? I'll return something in time. I don't have anything on me. I don't smoke anymore, so I don't carry tobacco. But I'll do something appropriate. Yeah, so I know some people are not going to be supportive of that perspective that I have. But I think, you know, when it comes to peaceful protest includes defacing public property. Public property. I don't agree with the looting, breaking into stores which are private property, defacing private property, even breaking their windows, but definitely going in and trashing the stores and looting their products and stuff like that. That I don't agree with. But at the same time, I think when it comes to the penalties for that, I think the penalties need to be gauged against the social condition, because it's not the same as a regular old break and enter theft and what have you, or whatever you'd call it. I don't know what the legal terms for these things are. I'm not a student of all of that. But I know you're not supposed to smash the window of a store, go in and take a television set, you know. I think that's highly illegal. However, I think it's different when you do that in a situation of public outcry where there has been lawlessness demonstrated by the authorities. In which case you see a reverse demonstration of lawlessness. I still, my ethical perspective, if I was a participant in that, was that there can be no destruction on my part of private property. But I don't, when it comes to public property, I think that's all, that's fair game. Because if people are not proud of those symbols, if people have lost their pride in those symbols, then those symbols or those symbols discontinue being a representation of them. So I understand the burning down of the police precinct. I think that was more like a little bit of an eye for eye, although not totally. I still think a lot more was owed, because what do you value a human life at? Even a guy who's a criminal like that guy, like the reality is, even though that dude was a criminal, I'm not even gonna, I know his name, I'm not gonna say it because I don't agree with making that guy famous, because he was a criminal and the police had to deal with him a lot in his past, and he did some rank things. And so as far as that guy goes, whatever. But the police cannot be killing people, even people like him, as they're arresting them in the manner that we all witnessed. So, and the fact that nobody moved on it to do anything about the police that were videotaped, I don't know. It's just so tragic. Such a stupid decision not to immediately arrest all 4 of those officers. But now what, right? Now Donald Trump has sent in a military in certain areas, parts of the American military, to shut down riots. I don't know what's going on. I haven't really been watching that news feed that much, but I did see Donald Trump's own declaration one evening that he was going to utilize the military, and he was recommending the governors of the states to bring in the military. And I believe he threatened that those governors that didn't want to use their National Guards to shut down riots and such, the feds might step in with the U.S. military proper and do it. If local law enforcement is not willing to, then that's where they'll step in. So, I don't know. It all sounded really bad to me. And I know most of you guys don't tune into this channel to hear Ryan talk about political things, but I would assume many of you are tuned into some of these things, and today it seems a little bit more relaxed, at least here, at least where I'm standing. I'm not, but I haven't been scrolling my news feed or anything, so who knows. But I imagine the tensions are starting to wane. All the same, very threatening times, and bad things can erupt, you know. It's I don't know. We're all in weird times together. So hopefully we come out of this the better, you know. Gee, I used to see just thousands of bank swallows coming in and out of this bank, feeding on insects over the river, but it hasn't been that way for a while. Probably 8-9 years since the swallows were here on the bank. A lot has changed out this way in the even in the short duration that I've been studying out here. Lots of the insect population has changed. Check it out, there's a little bluet here. Might be a boreal bluet, damselfly. Later in the summer we'll have tons and tons of damselflies around. I think these people are waiting to meet me. Hello.
Hi. Are you the rattlesnake guy?
I am.
I follow you on Facebook.
Oh, right on.
I love your page. I watch it all the time.
Thank you.
It's so cool to see how you handle everything.
Thank you.
Oh my goodness, that's not very fun doing what you do right now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, so if you ever have
I'm
rattlesnake
encumbered.
problems, you call him.
I'm the guy.
Or skunks. He comes remove skunks and all that
Well,
kind of
not,
fun
I
stuff
don't
too.
see a lot of skunks in Tabor.
No. And where you live, you wouldn't see a lot of rattlers either.
Oh, in Tabor you can get some.
Just not
Oh.
where she lives, because
I
she's
live-
really
I
far
live-
away from the coolies.
Oh yeah.
I live closer to Chin Lake than I live to the old
Oh, those people right along the river there, that
Yes.
strip, they get rattlesnakes.
Yes.
Oh,
yeah.
They do.
They used to come up into the town, I remember, when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a story about I don't know, maybe it's just a fable, but I know a guy that grew up in Tabor, and he said there was a police chief that was reputed of having died from getting rattlesnake bitten.
Might have been a long time
It's
ago.
not a record. I think he
Well,
actually actually died in the coulee, probably.
Actually, they say,
Whatever.
I know exactly who you're talking about.
Yeah. What's the story?
He was found at the river,
He was found at the river.
and the official story is he died of a heart attack.
Uh-huh.
But, I mean, it's not unfeasible.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
really isn't, because he was very fit.
Oh yeah.
That was Gordon Hacking.
Oh,
Gordon
okay,
Hacking.
okay,
Okay.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I just
I-
heard that rumor. I'd heard there was a police chief that didn't.
That would be that. I
Yeah.
remember it.
That's wild.
So yeah.
He's out for a nature walk.
Well, he's studying
field trip.
Yeah, he's studying reptiles in school right now.
Oh.
So snakes and everything.
Oh.
So we're doing all the online stuff, and his teacher has said, if you guys go out and enjoy the beautiful weather, if you find anything, take pictures. And I live in Calgary, but all my friends have been coming up and
Taking
going
pictures
the
of
turtles.
the turtles,
And I
yes.
said, you know what? It's my day off. We're gonna drive down to Lethbridge, meet my mom here,
Yeah,
and
good
we're gonna go
idea.
see the turtles.
Oh, very good idea.
So I already took some pictures, sent them to his teacher.
Right on.
So we're gonna keep looking because
Yeah, you might get lucky and come across a wandering garter snake or
that's
something too.
kind of what I'm
Yeah.
hoping for too.
Yeah. Well, no.
You could look the other way.
Yeah.
His best friend, his little best friend, just got a corn snake,
Yeah.
and so that's all everybody's talking about right now is the new corn snakes.
Yeah.
So,
Well, you're not getting a snake
no,
because you will never see Grandma again.
that's what
If you
we
get
kind
a
of told him already.
Just
he handles so many different kinds of snakes. So if people have snakes that come into their backyards or their houses, or if they get hurt on the road, he comes and takes care of them.
Yeah.
Do you have any
Sometimes
questions
he
you wanna
saves their
ask about
lives.
snakes?
Yeah, because you're studying snakes. Do you have any questions? No?
Can't think of any.
Not really.
Can we take a picture maybe with
Oh
you?
yeah, for sure, for sure.
That way we can show my.
Yeah, I've had a few really nice expressions of support like that over the past couple of days. Even earlier today, I didn't record it, but there was a couple who were playing golf, who I think later took a walk around the perimeter maybe. I saw them behind me at one point, but yeah, they came up and said a few things to me, and then I should find out what Kirsten's doing, because I have a supporter here in town she does some kind of scrap paper art. I don't know, but she's made a really cool rattlesnake man with snake that I've got to show you guys. So lots of nice support from people who watch the channel and follow what I'm doing. And you know, I know for the most part everybody's here for the wildlife stuff and don't really care to hear my political views, but I figured with all that's gone on the last couple of days, I had to get some of that stuff off of my chest, you know, put it out there. This is my journal after all, and say what I thought in the moment of what was happening. Yeah, there's normally a bank down here. I don't know if you guys remember, but this is where I cross to get to the Goose Island, and I usually have a bank, a nice rocky bank, and then a little island in the middle, you know. Probably, if you've been following a while, you've seen me take school kids out here among the islands to play in the little streams. I don't know what's going on here. This might be somebody's dog even. Maybe a deer. I don't know. These muddy banks are worth looking at. Oh yeah, that looks like a deer coming through there, taking a swig. Yeah, let's see if we can go visit Kirsten. Here are the deer who are probably down there by the river taking the swig. 3 white-tailed does. Check this out. I just started up my truck. I noticed there's something on my windshield here. A napkin. It says, "We really appreciate learning from your content on the YouTube. Your empathy and compassion is what the world needs right now. Here is $5 for a coffee on us as a symbol of our appreciation." That's pretty cool. Yeah, I think that come from his name was Ty. I'm sorry, I can't remember Ty, your partner's name, but thank you very much for that. I will get a coffee on you. One of either tomorrow morning or the morning after. It's midday, so I'm out of coffee time and Prince is playing. I gotta shut this off or I'm gonna be pulled from YouTube. Hey. That's awesome.
I had some grass and shit because it seemed empty.
That is pretty cool.
Right? I even put the little diamonds on it.
Oh, very cool.
What happened to your foot?
How do you do that?
Oh, it's a special paper. Like they put. Sorry, I'm gonna come out here.
Yeah.
They put like this stuff. It's like lottery stuff. You know what I mean? Like when you just scratchers.
Scratch
Yeah.
ticket type of stuff.
They come in sheets of 5.
Oh,
or packs
cool.
of 5 down
So
at
you
the
got to be
dollar
very
store.
precise.
Yeah, you can't fuck up on it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was doing one just for fun. Like I thought, you know, pot leaf, right? Because all the rainbow.
Yeah.
So I did one of those, and I put it up on this like fairy site, right? You know, they're like, have you heard of those? Where they're like, it started out as like gifting other people by surprise.
No.
You know, like the Secret Sisters and whatever.
Oh yeah.
And so there's like this fairy ninja thing where they're like gifting other people pot by surprise. You put your address on there. So I was like, hey everyone, look at this pot leaf that I made. And before I knew it, it just exploded. They're just like, I want one. And I'm like, well, I'm not going to make like 30 of these. Then people are like, I would pay you for it. I'm like, well, okay.
Very cool.
So now I'm a business.
Yeah. So so you're selling, hey?
Oh yeah, I've made at least do I have?
That's
I don't
very
have
cool.
anything on me.
So something as detailed as this, how much would you charge for that?
Nothing.
No, I mean not for me, but like if you were selling this to somebody.
I don't actually charge by the piece itself. What I've been doing is I have rates for where people live because I have to mail them.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, so I've been charging like $10 for people that are in Alberta and $5 for people that come and get them.
Wow.
And then 15 for people that are in Canada, but like the western side, because I have to put 2 stamps if I'm going all the way over there.
Yeah.
And then in the world, I just said, you know, $20 plus shipping. But yeah, it's
Very cool.
insane. I have been doing this nonstop. Like I've stained the side of my hand like so many times. It's coming off a little bit, but
Yeah.
it's still there.
That's awesome. Well, thank you very much. I gotta put that in a frame or something. I'm already messing it up with finger grease. Look at that.
No, that's my grease.
Oh, okay.
It'll come off soon.
All right. Well, thank you.
Yeah.
I'm off to set some more traps.
Your foot. How much is that?
I was running.
How did you do that?
I was running and I ripped the 2 muscles of my calf.
Oh, geez, like your ACL?
I don't know I forget what they're called, but the 2 large muscles of my calf are ripped.
Yeah, that's your ACL.
And then there's another piece. There's a muscle, the soleus or something that may or may not be popped.
Damn.
Yeah. So it sucks. I'm gonna spend my summer in this cast and in physiotherapy. Yeah. Oh well.
Do you smell fire?
You're probably smelling skunk on me.
No, it's fire. It's definitely
Oh, you're right. There is a fire. Yeah, you're right. Somebody's burning. Probably somebody in their backyard. It smells like a home fire.
Yeah.
Like a backyard wood fire. Thank you, Kristen. See you. Hey, pretty cool.